Understanding how you're taking over, slowly breaking down my composure, Hello, I'm MISH from Torizon. I'm talking to Kris from Heavy Magazine for being the legend that he is. And we just released a new single called Martyr.
Thanks for joining us, mate. And stop it, you're too nice. You almost made me blush just now.
Well, you've always been great to me, so I mean, you know.
You got to be nice to some people, I guess, don't you?
I'm glad I'm in that category. Thank you. Likewise.
So you joined us today to talk about your recently released single Martyr, which came out a couple of weeks ago. So how's the early reception been for it?
Really good. I think it was a mixture of things, relaunching it with Damaged, or I guess relaunching the band with Damaged, and that be setting the foundation for this year, first single released in a couple of years, and then coming from that and releasing Martyr on my birthday weekend, which was great. A few weeks after that has really helped, because you had people that were excited to hear the new sound and the more metalcore vibe, the new elements that are there, the new songwriting style, and then to give them something new quickly was really great. It felt awesome, because we recorded these songs ages ago, so it was nice to have get them out in the world and people like them. That's been really good.
Oh. So tell us a bit more about Martyr from a musical point of view and what you were going for with it.
Honestly, it was funny because Luke wrote two riffs for two separate songs. There was an ambient one, and there was this really chunky one, and I was like, yo, these are both cool. And we started working. The idea was to make two different songs, but then one day he's like, yo, I put them together and it sounds really good. And I was like, okay, let's have a look. And I had to listen to it, and I had written these lyrics and a melody for a different song, and I just started mucking about and singing on top of it, just to, sometimes you just sing gibberish just to get an idea of the melody. But I was like, oh, I've got this other one, let's just see for funsies. And it ended up working, so we kept it. So essentially, Martyr wasn't conceptualized. We had no intentions of writing it. It was written from parts that were meant to be different songs, and it somehow just organically came together. And I almost didn't record it because I didn't think we hadn't worked on it hard enough, because I hadn't picked it apart enough. You know what I mean? And it came along quickly. So for me, it's if I haven't really questioned my existence writing a song, then did I work hard enough on it? So it was really nice to to be able to produce a good song without all of that self-doubt and all that jazz, and it was something that wasn't even meant to be, and here it is, and it's been more successful than Damaged, so very exciting.
Okay. Lyrically, the song focuses on trauma, so can you go into a bit more detail on that?
How much time do you have?
Shit. 7 o'clock's my next one.
No, I'm kidding. I mean, it's no secret. I have a history of complex PTSD, which typically comes from childhood trauma. And what happens is statistically, a lot of people with complex PTSD do tend to end up in abusive relationships. And that doesn't even have to be a romantic relationships. It can be a toxic workplace. It can be toxic friends. So they have a high statistic of ending up in those relationships. So this song in particular is based on my experience as a victim of narcissistic personality disorder abuse. And it was written after a therapy session where the penny had just dropped that this is not okay. Me getting blamed for everything that is wrong in our relationship is not okay. And why is it that I'm the one that always gets the blame, and the confusion that comes with it, and the gaslighting that comes with it. So had a therapy session, unpacked it all, was in my car, cried my little heart out, and came up with the concept of this. It was about the moment when you just realize okay, this isn't okay and I need to leave.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier on relaunching the band. So can you go into a bit more detail there? You went on a bit of a hiatus, I know that, but what's to go with the relaunching?
Oh yeah, for sure. So obviously it was a soft rebrand, because the name and the essence of it is the same. I was in a hiatus for a couple of years, mostly because we were like Luke and I were figuring out a songwriting style, and also I needed a break for my own personal stuff. Like I was going through a pretty tough period in my life, and I had to like, something had to stop, and at that point music has been the thing that it has never stopped for me unless I'm physically injured. But this time I was mentally injured, so I was like, okay, I need a break from this, I need a break from everything, and really need to, like, you know, grab fragments of myself and bring myself back together. So that was about a year's worth of work in like, you know, trauma therapy and stuff like that. And then it was just Luke and I figuring out our sound, and wrote a bunch of songs. Like we've written so many songs, and the songs that are coming out are like handpicked out of those.
Nice.
So yeah. And also didn't want any pressure on myself this time. It's like, let's just, you know, there's enough pressure from life right now. Let's just ease into it and see what comes out.
Well, hopefully it works out a lot better, calmer experience for you.
It's been great. Like honestly, it's we have already written, we spent this year writing our next EP, so there was like almost an album's worth of songs that we then culled down to an EP on top of this, and reestablishing our live rig. I wanted to make sure everything, when we just kind of go back out live and go back out releasing music, it's good quality. So that's why we invested a lot in like our film clips, great PR agencies that have been amazing, great like marketing strategies, and also redid our entire set in 2 different tunings, just because why not make things difficult for me? And redid our entire live rig, and that kind of paid off when we toured with Orpheus Omega, and you could just see how much easier everything was to set up. A set was like very tight, probably the tightest it's ever been, and it's heavy and it's raw. So yeah, so it kind of paid off.
Yeah, right. And you also mentioned a new sound, like a bit more of a metalcore sound. Tell us a bit more about that.
Wait till you hear the EP, man. You'll be one of the first few ones I get to hear it before it's out, obviously, because you know you're my friend. We call it pedalcore. It's like pop metalcore. It's got a lot of metalcore tunings, a metalcore riffage. Think Bad Omens, but add a little bit of Tonight Alive to it, and a little bit of Evanescence. So it's very much off that vein. The EP is very synth heavy, which is a bit of a like a new, I guess, pivoting to a new direction, but it's awesome. Like I have heard at the song selections back, you know, throughout, and it's like, oh my god. And it ended up becoming a concept EP, not that we had intended it, but that's the beauty of like not putting pressure on yourself, and just like not worrying about that you have to keep releasing, and just letting things be. And that's been like how it's kind of come together, and it's so much better.
Right. Well, I think I'm being rude by not pressing you about things like the concept, because I want to chat with you again when the EP comes out. And I'm not going to ask all the questions now, so I'll leave that one till then.
Sounds good.
Right. So, like I said, you took around roughly 12 months off, like, but when you came back, like, the music industry moves so fast in the modern age. Like, when you came back after even just 12 months, like, was it difficult to get back in the swing of things? Like, did you feel like you had to make your name again? Sort of thing?
Not so much. It wasn't a huge departure for me, because I was working in the industry as a publicist and as like a marketing agent. I just wasn't writing music anymore for a year. I had put a stop to that. But me working in the industry kind of kept me familiar with what's needed, how to be relevant, and all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't such a huge thing. It was weird and nervous. I was a bit nervous when I was like, strategy wise, I was fine, because I knew like I had been working in the industry, but also had like people that I trust working on our campaigns with us. But I think it was very nerve-wracking when I had to like write the new bio, and then write the new quote for the press release and all those kind of things. Because I can write about other people, but when it comes to writing about myself, I'm like, do I suck? Like, am I terrible? And I think I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? It's all those weird thoughts that come to your brain. So it was just like, I really hope it goes okay. And I hope people don't say that you think you're good, but you're not.
You're playing a show with a Sydney band called Fifth Dawn in February. So tell us a bit about that.
Okay, so Fifth Dawn is a band that I recently came across earlier this year. And they are like melodic metal, but like a very unique brand of that. They're so cool. They're heavy. And so this particular tour is very much a diverse lineup, which I absolutely love. And I really want to position us to be playing more of those shows. It's supported by Auratech, the new punk band from Sydney. And I don't know if you've seen Auratech before, but they're amazing. They were in Big Sound this year. Very good, yeah. Nice, they are so cool. I know. Yeah. We used to all work together. It's so funny. Yeah, so performing with them and the Atomic Boy Project, also another Brisbane band. So that's on February 3rd at the Stranded Bar, which I'm really excited to play. I've never played there before because it's a newbie.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
And what else is 2024 hold in store for Torizon? Have you got it mapped out yet, or are you taking it as a
Oh, totally.
Totally. I thought you might.
Oh, totally. I wouldn't be the hyper-vigilant me and the extreme like organized me because I've got massive FOMO if I wasn't planning at least a couple of years ahead. So we are starting to record our EP in May. So that's coming. So after the Feb show, we're taking a couple of months off because our lovely guitarist Luke is having a little baby. Oh, okay. So yeah, cute. It's so exciting. Little Torizon baby.
You're gonna be an auntie.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I mean, I love being an auntie. It's one of my favorite things to do. So we're going to take a couple of months off so he can like sort of, settle into the new life and all that. And then we hit the studio. We've got some more shows booked in as well. And we're working on more interstate shows. So that's what's happening next year. Our new EP will be recorded. We will be doing some music videos. So it'll be a year of performing and not so much releasing, but preparing for like a huge 2025 ahead.
Very cool. And have you got any more singles to release from the EP, or are you starting from scratch recording now?
Oh no, these two were standalone singles, so everything for the EP will be brand new.
Right, yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, Mish, well, thanks very much for joining us. It's awesome catching up as per usual.
Oh, thank you. You too. Thanks for having me. Understand